All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Beauty Mind webinar here at Mastermind Beauty. How's it going, Allison?
It's going good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I'm excited for today because one of the things that you and I have been speaking about was how we could integrate more AI help to people. And, we're seeing a lot of new advancements in the AI world, but we're still at the very beginning of a lot of this. And some people are using ChatGPT, and some people still aren't. And if they are using it, maybe they're using it for one thing, but they're not maximizing it. We're going to uncover something that I think most people aren't using it for, especially because they probably just have the basic free version. So we're going to talk about creating imagery through it as well, which has been transformative for our company and everything creative that we're doing. But we have another Opus clip, which is opus.pro, www.opus.pro. Just pro, not .com, .pro. We're seeing a lot of these emerging sites come out with like Artlist.io is another one. Artlist, they're starting to integrate some more AI capabilities. Canva, which we'll talk about another time as well, which you use very often. But what do you think people are getting wrong in the AI world right now?
I think that just as a hairdresser, like our strength is creativity in the hair world, hands-on creativity, painting hair, things like that. So unless you have a background in some other type of business or you have an interest in another, other than just doing hair, you're going to use AI for what everyone else is using it for, or the easiest thing to use it for, and things like that. So I think that a lot of hairdressers are just diving right into using AI to write captions. I think that's all they're doing it for. The majority actually is not using it at all, but the people who are using it just to write captions, maybe emails, maybe newsletters, but they're probably copy and pasting. I think it's very basic. And we're going to show you how to stay ahead and not just do what everyone else is doing, because usually what everyone else is doing is not great, especially in the hair world. Like I said, we're good at being hairdressers.
Yeah, I think in any business, a lot of people get comfortable. A lot of people get caught up in what used to work or has been working. And one of the things about the current state of the world, the current state of the internet, is it's moving faster than ever before. And I think that's one thing that people can't afford to get wrong this time. There might have been I was at a restaurant yesterday I used to work at on Sunset Boulevard, and we always had a 2-hour wait, always, forever. And the owner refused to do any kind of marketing because she didn't need to do any marketing. And so didn't want to start an Instagram and use it properly 12 years ago, 9 years ago, when I was continuously pitching to help working with them. And you can't see the future. You can't see the pandemic happening and then people's behaviors changing because they're not going out to eat all the time. You can't see that. But then you might be able to come back from that, right? So then you reopen after that. And then the writer's strike happens. So now people's behaviors have changed, but now they're trying to get back to the old way that they used to go out to eat all the time. Literally 2-hour wait, 10 a.m. on a Monday at this restaurant. Like we killed as waiters back in the day. And that would happen. That would be all day, every day, 9 to 4. And so you have the pandemic, come back from that. Then what happens? The writer's strike happens. So now the entertainment industry and the actor strike happens. So now the entertainment industry isn't working. So they don't have the money to go into your restaurant all the time because primarily your main client that was coming in. And then the writer's strike ended. But now these big studios aren't bringing all of those writers back. They're minimizing the amount of people that are coming in. So now those people don't have money. And then what happens? Now these fires are going on in LA. That's a whole other thing where people are going to leave out of the city. So it's one of those things that you might be doing really well right now, but the internet is moving fast. And if you can build a community on the internet, you can take that wherever you go. And you don't want to be confined to one platform either. You're seeing what happens with TikTok. We have 272,000 followers on TikTok for Mastermind Media. That could potentially in a week just go away. If we were only focusing on TikTok and not focusing on the other platforms, then we wouldn't have any kind of community built around us. So you have to use all the other platforms. You have to build a community here. And that's if you're part of our community, because Beauty Mind, Mastermind Beauty, we're pulling your highest potential out of you, whether you like it or not. If you don't want to, if you're not moving forward and you just want to stay stagnant, this is not for you. And either you're going to wake up now or you're going to eventually wake up to be the best version of yourself that you can be, with the patience over time to get there.
I think it's really interesting that you brought up like all the big things that happen in the world, on your side of the world, especially with like the writer's strike and things like that. But just going back to the pandemic, like that's so true, because I think a lot of salons, mine included, but we've always been really big on social media. But we were, if I look at it from that angle, like we were doing so amazing before the pandemic. We were on fire. Everyone was applying when they got out of beauty school to be on our team. We constantly had new clients overflowing the books. We had, all of our stylists were very busy. We had multiple stylists making incredible income under our roof. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then the pandemic happened. And if we didn't have that online community built, we couldn't have came back as strong as we did. We for sure couldn't. We lost so many things and people during that time. We lost people coming into the business. We lost team members. We lost new clients hearing about us because we lost so many new of our current clients and team members. We lost a lot. And if we didn't already have that online community, we would not have bounced back. But we've always been really, really strong on social media. And we could have been stronger, because we're talking 6-7 years ago. So we could have been way stronger, but we were doing well. And so we were able to bounce back. I can't imagine how much stronger and faster we would have bounced back had we been doing all of the things, the newsletters, all of the marketing that we could have been doing. I can't imagine how much faster we would have bounced back.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
seamless.
Yeah, just being top of mind so that when things do come back around, that they remember you and they're making it a priority because you're reminding them of the priority that they made before. So yeah, behaviors change, things in the world change, but what you can't afford to do is to not build a community on these platforms, and using AI regularly. There's going to be a lot of people that say, no, I don't want to use AI because X, Y, and Z, because it's stealing jobs or stealing creatives or whatever. We see it as being a huge asset to any company. We use it all of the time. We're consistently integrating it into every aspect of our businesses. It's not going to overtake anything. It's not going to teach you what we don't know, but we're going to help you understand how you can continuously integrate these AI tools, at least be aware of them, to understand them and be well practiced and be a practitioner. So that way you're ahead of the game. You have something to speak about. As you continue to grow, how to offset some of your challenges. And there is more, as we talked about before, there is a lot more to being a hairdresser these days, or being a beauty professional. To run a business, it takes a lot more. You have to do marketing. There's so many other things that you could be firing on all cylinders to make your life better. And it's simple, but it's not easy. And now we're using AI to kind of help supplement that. And that's what we're going to jump into today.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that it's a whole, I keep telling hairdressers who are asking, like, for instance, what's your upcoming class about? I'm like, it's not the basics. We're not going to teach you to write Instagram captions with AI. We might touch on it. We might teach you how to do that better, but it is not the basics. This is not like beginner version hairdressers, in AI. Like, it's not. We're going to teach you how to really, really, really use these apps and these technologies to help you grow and to help you streamline your business so that you don't burn out, because that's such a huge problem in the industry right now. Burnout is just at its all-time high.
Absolutely. So this will be the first of many where we'll touch on an AI app or two to continuously encourage you to try these things, become a practitioner. So these are the AI apps you should know about before we get in. So staying ahead industry means embracing innovation with AI leading the way. By learning one new AI app each month, we stay competitive, efficient, and creative. Like it's just beginning. Each of these apps are going to get better and better and better within themselves. And then new apps are going to come up, and it's going to create competition. It's going to create, it's going to disrupt a lot of different industries, but we want to be practitioners in this so we can continue to be great. So today we'll explore image creation using ChatGPT and long form to short form content with Opus Clip, two tools to help you create stunning visuals and repurpose content effortlessly, keeping your brand fresh in a dynamic digital world. And the reason we chose these, because these are two apps that we use. And one of the reasons that I love that we're covering the image creation is because we use image creation through ChatGPT for this pitch deck. Like that first page that you saw was created with AI. And other elements as well. We use pitch.com as well for our pitch decks. But this first page was created with AI. Now, when we get into image capture, ChatGPT, like I said, this is stuff that we use all of the time. AI tools like ChatGPT can create stunning visuals for social media, letters, and promotions. And that's just the basics. Those are things that you should be doing regularly. So use this to help make them more engaging. They save time, boost creativity, and help your brand stand out, attracting more clients and elevating your marketing efforts. Can you imagine, like when you first started the company out, when you first started Bella V, and like being able to use AI for all of that stuff? I remember the initial marketing stuff you did, and you were doing a lot of the
It
marketing.
was so
right?
trash. Like I cannot even. I look at our old business cards, like we still have probably one laying around.
Mhm.
I actually saw it on a one of the coffee shops local to us. A girl that used to work for us had her old business card stapled to the bulletin board there. And I was like, this has got to come down. Like Loki, I felt like it was illegal for me to remove that, even though she doesn't work at my business anymore. But I was like, I cannot have this gross branding from 20 years ago up here. This is so embarrassing. So I took it down, but it was so ugly. And I did all of it because I had a background in graphic design, which I still use like my graphic design capabilities. But they are not like, I would not say they are a product of what I learned back then
Yeah.
because graphic design has changed so much. And obviously what I was creating then was trash. I think now it just makes it so much easier to do graphic design with Canva and things like that. But AI has made it so much easier because I don't want to be a graphic designer in my business at all. But I also don't want to pay someone a lot of money to be my graphic designer. So yeah, that's when you would use AI to do those things for you. You don't need a full-time graphic designer in your salon to design signage and things like that. No, but you also don't want it to look bad. And you also don't want it to be like the same Canva template that everyone else is using. So that's when AI comes in. It can help you get more creative and create different types of signage that isn't just a template that everyone else is going to get to.
Yeah. Really flexing your creative abilities is huge. And a lot of times having AI do a lot of the work, or say like, hey, create a business card for Salon Bella V, and that feels like this, and this. And then it might do it for you. Then you use that as inspiration. You don't have to use that as, oh, that's the one, right? That's
Exactly.
inspiration now, and you can tweak it. And listen, that's one thing that I always tell our clients too, is like, we've created a lot of shit in the past. Now we don't, because we've sharpened our taste buds over the last 2 decades. So you don't have to make the mistakes that we did. We've already made those mistakes for you, so we can get you to the finish line in a proper fashion sooner. We've earned our stripes within our creative taste buds. So
Yeah, I
so no
definitely
sweat.
would say the same. I can't believe the people who like approved the designs I was creating for our business cards back then. I'm just like, you guys all thought that was good?
Well, that was different times too. I think like everybody, like you just see
Yeah.
film quality gets better, everything gets better.
Yeah, exactly.
So even like this image right here that you're looking at within this photo, that also AI. Also, then I created what I did for this deck. I looked up on Google Images, just looked up iPhone PNG and found a PNG, which was a transparent PNG. So there was nothing behind it. So I bring that in, add the photo behind it, round the corners to ensure that it looks like it's just sitting there. And then it's simple and sleek, takes 2 seconds. These are the type of things that might seem like, how the hell did you do that? And then you learn it. And then it's like, oh, and once you learn to go about certain things certain ways, you start thinking differently about content creation. You're like, oh, I could do that. There's so much I could just do right on Instagram. I use these iPhone PNGs even on my story sometimes. I'll copy the image from my photo album, and I'll bring it in to make my story look more dynamic. So you'll start thinking differently the more you use these things, but you have to jump in and try it out.
Yeah.
So newsletter images. And we're taking you down this lane because this is how we do our. So begin by creating your newsletter, structuring it with clear and engaging information, right? You're not doing a newsletter only to sell to people. You do want to create a newsletter that people are going to be informed, just like your social media content. You want to inform people, you want to educate them, and then throw some sales in there as well. But otherwise, you're not going to, your open rate is not going to be as high as you would like. But if it's informative and your subject line is intriguing and making people click on it, that's how people are going to continuously be excited when it comes every time. So yeah, begin by creating your newsletter, structuring it with clear and engaging information. Then, based on the content in each section, develop visuals that represent the key points. Let your ideas inspire both the text and the imagery, ensuring your message is impactful and cohesive. So a lot of times with what we're doing, the prompt that I'll give ChatGPT, and this is ChatGPT 4, is that 4.0 or 4D? I forget.
I think it's 4.0, but I've seen that in my corner too. I'm like, is it 4.0? Is that what that means? Yeah, I don't think it actually has a dot, but I think that's what it means.
Yeah. And so if you're just having the free version, to my recollection, does not have image creation. You had to pay the $15.99 a month or something like that. Yeah. So what I typically start with is create an image of a futuristic astronaut hairstylist doing hair inside a futuristic salon. So when I do that, this is what it comes up with. And sometimes it doesn't do it that great. Sometimes it has text on there that is like doesn't say what I want it to say. Typically, I like to remove most text. Sometimes I'll have it say Beauty Mind and it'll do it properly. But from here, I don't necessarily like a square image. A square image is going to take too much of the newsletter. So then what I do is I refine the creation by using additional prompts, adjusting and iterating until you achieve the desired result. So make it widescreen and add a rocket taking off in the background. This is like these elements, like to draw something like this or get somebody to draw something like this would be hundreds of dollars in the past. And typically what I like to do is like take our brand and think within our brand, but also like, what do we want people to feel when they see it? So adding a rocket in the background, typically like taking off, becoming your best self, that kind of thing. So just making it widescreen allows me to now have the element in our newsletter, which if you're part of Beauty Mind, you've seen the newsletters. Now it's going to be enough there, but it's going to be widescreen. It's going to be somewhat thin. That way you get some data, you get some of our text and knowledge, and then it has this image to make you go, oh, wow, I feel what they're saying. And we design a lot of our clients' newsletters the same way, where with like real estate. So if he's talking about, taxes for these real estate investors, then it's like, okay, what is he saying? What's the copy? Because he writes the copy and then it sends it to us to design. Then when we look at it, it's like, okay, what is he saying? And then we incorporate that, and you think of what kind of visual. Maybe it's, create an image of two professionals that one of them has a messy desk and one of them has a sleek, clean desk. And then now as we're going through, like, don't wait till, April to get your taxes together, do it ahead of time. And then you see that visual and you're like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be this guy. And then you continue reading. But if it's just text in your newsletter, most people aren't going to continue reading it.
Yeah, I think I've seen that image. I don't remember if it was that one or a different one, but you showed me some of the things that you've done for the real estate people. And I was blown away because so much of what we do is the, space inspired hairdresser stuff. So like, that's where my brain automatically goes. But once you showed me how you use it for other industries, I was like, that is so good.
Yeah, and really comes down to fine tuning and refining it. Like this step should not go missed because this step of refining it, not even just like to widescreen or sometimes I'll say make it a vertical video, vertical style for like an iPhone. And so, but yeah, we've done like different products, like have like hairstylists doing X, Y, and Z. You really want to formulate like what your brand feels like through AI, and because it's images and it's not like you can use this for. We thought about using it for like our covers on Instagram. There's so many ways that you can use this. But yeah, like I think newsletters is one of my favorite things to use these image creation. That, and I would say the pitch decks that we do. It really simplifies it, but it matters so much. It just makes it the brand. It just elevates everything about it. And so people take you more seriously. They understand the information because you know what you're doing because you've presented it in the proper way.
This is sort of off topic, but I actually had it create an image because I use AI so often for so many different areas of my life. I use it for my personal life. I use it for my business life. I use it for my other business life. Like I have all these different areas of my life that I use it for. So my AI, my ChatGPT knows me pretty well. And I had it create an image, vision board of my 2025 based off of what it knew about me. And I was blown away with what it put together. Like it gave me basically exactly what I wanted my 2025 to look like because it knows where I'm going with my thoughts and my prompts that I give it. And it knows what I want for my business. It knows what I'm working towards, but it also knows me on a personal level as well. So it was really awesome to be able to have it create an image so quickly. I like to create vision boards and dream boards in real life. I like the process of it, but and sometimes I'll do it on my phone as well for a digital version. But it was really cool to have it tell me
Yeah.
what my vision for 2025 was, and it spit me out a beautiful image of my perfect dream life. So
Wow.
it's another
That's
way that you
amazing.
can create imagery with it. You could
Yeah.
tell it your hopes and dreams and goals and the struggles that you faced and what you want to achieve and how much money you want to make and what you want your schedule to be. You can tell it all of that, brain dump your life and your dreams into it, and then ask it to create you a vision of your, next 6 months or year.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It makes me think about that. We just had someone come through our podcast studio last week, and he was talking about creating a mind movie. I don't know if you've heard this concept, where
Mm-mm.
basically, I think at the ground floor level of it, you would take images, and I like the idea of taking um, images created by ChatGPT or whatever AI app that creates your images, and you put music behind it, and you create like a small movie. So that way, every night before you go to bed, you watch a slideshow of the photos that are depict what you want your future to be, mixed with some music that really like helps you visualize and feel it. And then that's step one. And then the advanced version of that would be to use one of these apps. I think Sora is another app that does like will take your visuals and make them videos and add movement and everything too. So I think that could be the future as well. If you're like, I want to do X, Y, and Z in the future, and I want to make this amount of money, and I want to help this many people, and I want to teach X, Y, and Z, then you show that future and you watch it every single night before you go to bed, and that's like taking your manifestations to the next level.
That's incredible. That
Yeah.
is that is really cool because taking that thought to sleep with you and you're basically taking it to your dreams, like your subconscious mind. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mind Movies, that podcast should be coming out. It's either this week or next week, but yeah, it's a real thing, and that's something that we could potentially incorporate into everything that we're doing, especially with the AI and the visuals that we're creating, and ensuring that people know what they want their future to be. Vision boards and dream boards are already such a real thing, and writing down your dreams and what you want to happen this year, but also like adding that element could really take things to the next level.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited to listen to that one.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch gears to Opus Clip, taking your long form to short form. So opus.pro is the web address, uses AI to cut long form videos into engaging short clips. It highlights key moments, adds captions, and formats them for social media, saving time and maximizing your reach on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, etc. This is a brilliant clip or brilliant app, and if you haven't heard of it before you're going to start being flooded on social media about using it. A lot of really big content creators use this, especially in the podcast world. So the first step would be creating long form content. And that's like a huge advantage if you as a beauty professional can create long form content, because that simplifies the process moving forward. Because if you find a way to do long form content, you have that long form video you can put on YouTube or Facebook, what have you. But then splicing that to the best clips is going to help you maximize that, because long form video doesn't currently have high organic growth potential. So having long form video over time and driving traffic to it helps you build a stronger community, and then allows you to start running ads on your long form content, etc. So doing long form content should be a part of your game plan in the near future. So with Opus.pro, you'll go in and you'll take your long form content under 3 hours long. You drop the link into the app. So if you have already posted it on YouTube, you'll now post the YouTube URL in the app, and then decide your clip duration. So typically these apps, we keep it around 60 seconds or less. And the way it works is that depending on how much you pay for your Opus Clip subscription, it'll give you however many hours of content that you can upload to it. So when you upload your content to it, you don't necessarily want it to clip the whole thing. If your beginning was an intro and your outro was not necessarily something you'd want to clip, you could even add keywords to it so it knows what to look for when it's reviewing your long form video. And so now, say you have a 1 hour podcast, or say a hair tutorial, you'll now have an hour of that. Maybe you'll cut the beginning off and the end off. So now you know, like the 40 minutes within the middle, and to look out for these different keywords, so I know what I'm going to cut the vertical videos into. And then what it does is it will, just like that. Then what it will do, it'll add captions. If you have two different cameras, or even just a wide camera with two different speakers, it'll cut between the speakers and adjust the video. It creates titles for you as well, if that's something that you need to add for your content, and provides a virality score, which is huge. Like this is some clips here, and this ranks #1 out of all of them. It gives you a title, Future of Compute, investing in the new currency, and you would be able to scroll for days. It could be like 30 clips, 100 clips, depending on how long the content is. So this helps you produce dynamic, optimized social media content. And one of the things that I love about it too is that it allows you to go in and change the fonts, the colors, to really match your brand. So very similar to like Canva. This will allow you to create on-brand content without all of the legwork.
This is incredible, because I think so many people in the beauty industry want to start creating long form content and grow on, let's just say, YouTube. And I think that it feels daunting to them to have to then, I know this because it seemed daunting to me, to shoot a podcast and then have to go choose clips out of it that will be appealing to people on social media so that I can drop teasers, right? So I think hairdressers who want to grow in the education space, or who just want to show more long tutorials on YouTube, they can use this to drop teasers into their other social medias of clips of it. Like that is incredible, because it is so daunting to have this really great idea that is going to burn you out. And it's like you feel like immediately, I can't do it all. So if I'm going to go on YouTube, I'm just going to probably go on YouTube and stop doing, as much Instagram, just as an example. And I actually just had a conversation with someone the other day who was saying, I want to grow on YouTube. And she was basically saying, like, I don't know, exactly how, but I want to grow there. I want to start doing things there. But right now she currently is only doing shorts. And I think that's easy, because you're doing shorts, it's pretty much the same thing as creating a reel. But if you can create those reels from using Opus Clip from your long form content, like that is magical.
Yeah, it takes everything out, and it's one of those things as well. Like you want to test it out. You don't want to use it as a full crutch. You want to go in there and tweak it how necessary. Change the text, make sure that everything is spelled correctly, make sure it's the moments that you want. But the fact that it adds a virality score as well, and what it thinks will do the best based on what you're saying, and what the topics that you're covering, it really is analyzing the current marketplace to see what could do well and what won't do well, and then yes, you'll need to go in and make some adjustments, just like any type of AI currently. And but it really does help you maximize, because for a lot of our podcasts, we'll clip verts. We call them verts, vertical videos for people, and sometimes they can't afford the whole bundle, and we don't want them to have a long form podcast and not be able to do vertical videos for themselves. So if they can't afford to bundle some verts within our package with them, and they're not an editor themselves, because there is a lot of like adding music, adding captions, clipping things out, exporting it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's like
It's a lot.
once you learn it, you can do it. But a lot of people don't know how to do it, and it's this hump that they have to get over. So now being able to use Opus.pro is just a huge, and it's leading the space within that. I think there are some other apps that are emerging now, but it's leading the space. It was one of the first. It's been around. I've known about it for probably a year plus. And so that's one of those things, like before we got the live cutting, which we have our whole setup here where we live cut our podcast, we used to use Autopod. So we would use Autopod to take 4 cameras and put it into Autopod, and it would cut to whoever was speaking. So that would minimize our workflow there. Now we've upgraded our setup, so now we don't need that anymore. But now being able to use Opus.pro, which for our clients we don't, because they pay us for us to actually do the work and we'll do it. We'll add some more strategy to it, like maybe taking a clip that's at the end and putting that at the beginning, right? It's not going to just be verbatim, but so we add like a different creative element. But if you already have an engaging long form piece of content, you have to cut verts from it if you want people to see your long form video, because no one is going to see your long form video unless you're a celebrity and you have a name and a following already, or you're creating vertical videos, because vertical videos have the highest organic growth potential on all of these platforms. So you put the long form out regularly, the same day of the week, consistently, and then you use vertical videos to post 3 to 5 videos that drive traffic to it, and then from there you slowly build your following to now you're getting people are waiting for your video to drop on YouTube, and they're subscribed, etc. But they have to fall in love with your short form first. No one's going to come and watch for 15 minutes or 50 minutes or 3 hours unless they've already fell in love with your content through the short form.
That is really well said. That is really, really well said. Like, no one is going to sit down and watch you for 15 minutes to an hour unless they know what you're saying is going to be good. And you need to grow that following first. I always say you have to pretend you're her before you become her.
Yeah.
It's not going to feel easy at first. You're obviously you have to start somewhere. But if you're creating that content and then no one watches it, and you create some more and no one watches that, and then you get good and you're learning what words people, intrigues people, what draws people in, and you start building that community because people will start becoming interested in what you're saying. They'll then go back and watch where you started, and it won't, they're going to still be interested in that too, but they have to fall in love with you first. Mark,
Yeah.
do you know how much Opus Pro is off the top of your head?
I want to say, so I think initially you can do like your first 2 hours free or first 1 hour free, and they allow you to do that. I can look it up real quick, actually.
Because you have to fall in love with it before you want to subscribe, just like we were saying.
Subscriptions. Let's see, Opus.pro. Yes, to start your free trial, pricing. Yeah, it shows all the different content creators that are using it. But so the Pro, for professional creators, marketers, and teams, is $14.50 a month. Starter is $15 already, and then Pro right now there's a limited time of saving 50%. So $15 to $30 a month, and it will cut out so much of your workload. So highly
and help you grow and eliminate burnout, which we're all about, figuring out how to use AI to help us not become burnt out in our careers. We can't do it all. Everybody wants to be their own boss and work alone and be a solopreneur. I call them, like, everybody wants to do that, but not me. I love a team. But for all these beauty professionals who want to do their own thing and have their own thing, like, you cannot do it all. It cannot all happen up here. Like, you will lose your mind. You will drive yourself insane. You have to use these tools to run a successful business, whether you're working solo or with a team. But if you are in charge of marketing, in charge of promoting, which when you're a beauty professional, you don't have to be the boss to be in charge of that. Everyone should be promoting themselves. Everyone should be marketing themselves, and everyone should be creating content. You didn't get into this job thinking you weren't going to have to market yourself. So you absolutely have to be doing these things, but you can do it so much happier and so much more with a peaceful mind if you use technology properly, not doom scrolling, not spending all our time on social media, absorbing other people's content that does absolutely nothing for us except waste time, but using it to create for yourself, to learn new things, and to grow your community and following. Not to be
Absolutely.
popular, but to have more of this and more freedom and more happiness and all of that. It all starts with community.
Absolutely. So this is one of those steps that you can't miss. So, even in the future, we're toying with the idea of helping salons have some sort of setup, whether it's podcast setup or some kind of long form setup, just to be able to flip a switch and allow people to come in and create content. So being able to do that and figuring out, getting over the hump of how to create long form to then now cut it to short form, that's going to showcase your team so much better at a high level, and then them engaging with each other, talking about the value and their lives and everything. But then splicing up into short form is going to give them so much more content that they can put out there. And when the content starts working, people start seeing it, then you continuously drive traffic to your main show. The sky's the limit. And
The sky is the limit.
Opus Clip for the win. So to stay up to speed with the rapid advancements in AI, it's essential to work with AI tools weekly. Stop saying you're afraid or you don't know that one or you haven't tried it. Just try it. Spend the hour, spend the 8 hours. Get into it and just mess around. Like, don't even, just suck at it. You have to suck at it first before you can get great at it. But go in there and get curious and see what it's all about. Watch tutorials. There's so many tutorials on the internet, on YouTube, how to use these different platforms. So you have those, but we'll continue to introduce a new AI app every month on our webinars. So giving you the tools and knowledge to stay at the forefront of innovation in the beauty industry. Allison, you had spoke about using Canva AI. And so that's something that we'll include in the future. There's scheduling apps. There's so many different things, but we'll continue incorporating those in our monthly webinar. Well, one of our weekly webinars every single month.
Yeah, I love that ChatGPT is starting to have those plugins with Canva and some other apps. So I've been playing with the other apps as well that it has done plugins with. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about that for sure because I know a lot of hairdressers do use Canva.
Absolutely. So, and we're going to be, of course, diving even further into AI, social media at our Salt Lake City, Utah event on February 3rd. We're getting close to the end of ticket sales, limited tickets available. So we'll be pushing that for the next week or so, and until that one is fully sold out. And if you haven't bought your ticket yet, feel free to do so now. mastermindbeauty.com/workshops. And we hope to see you there.
Yes. All right. Good chat.
Cool. Yeah, great chat. We'll see you next Monday for this. This, of course, will be on the website as well. But we'll see you all next week. And until then, peace.